It's not a coincidence that New York City is the safest large city in America, and Brooklyn has the crime rate of a small town in middle America. It's not a coincidence, folks. It's hard work. It's the hard work that's been led for the past 20 years by our District Attorney, Joe Hynes. Joe Hynes understands our community, and not just because he was the Shabbos guy growing up. Our community has unique needs, and he works with us hand in hand to ensure that justice prevails. This is, of course, an election year. D.A. Hynes has an opponent, and I just want to point out, a lot of people believe in myths. There's a popular myth in New York City, and the myth is that a single elected official has magical abilities to move votes, tens of thousands of votes. It's not true. I certainly don't have such abilities. The only ability that I have as an elected official is to bring people together. What you see is what you get. Joe Hynes' opponent goes into one community, says one thing, goes to another community and says something else, then goes to a debate and says something completely different. And quite frankly, that should scare you, because this is not a typical politician. I think we all expect politicians to fudge the truth, but the district attorney is in charge of fighting crime in our borough, and we certainly don't want someone that has different versions in every single neighborhood that he goes to. I think the second thing that really disturbed me, and I think it should disturb anyone, is that this particular opponent is running on a platform which has made very clear that part of his job is going to be to hold the Jewish community accountable. That's a little bit shocking. I'll tell you why. Because imagine if they said that about any other ethnic group in our borough and said, I'm going to hold the X, Y, Z community accountable, and we're going to go after that community. I think the community will be outraged, and quite frankly, we're equally outraged. It's really outrageous for somebody who wants to be the chief prosecutor in the borough to say, I'm going to target a specific ethnic community in this borough, and that's what he said. He said he's going to target the Jewish community. That's something that, quite frankly, is shocking, it's outrageous, and it's unacceptable. And finally, Joe Hynes is a mensch. Those of you who don't speak Yiddish, loosely translated, he's a stand-up guy. I'll tell you something, we don't agree on everything. But we do agree that Joe Hynes is doing an outstanding job. He deserves to have the support of this community. He will be reelected, and quite frankly, and please quote me on this, I guarantee you that Joe Hynes will win the Orthodox Jewish vote. For me personally, this election is my top priority. And some people have asked me, well, that doesn't make sense, it's a mayor's race. Well, you know what? The mayor's going to have a runoff. We'll have a second bite at that apple. This is a race that's going to determine the course of the next 4 years in Brooklyn. This, in my view, is the most important race. I will be working non-stop for the next 4.5 weeks to re-elect Joe Hynes. It is my top priority, and I will not be doing it myself. I will be doing it with this crew of people. And every person you see here represents thousands of people. They work with the community, they're out there, the community trusts them, and the respect that Joe Hynes has in this community is incredible and it's enormous. I'm proud to endorse Joe Hynes. I'm proud to sit here and stand here with community leaders to endorse him, and I'll point out that when the other guy came to our neighborhood, nobody would stand with him. And it's a stark contrast to stand here today and see the representatives from every single community group here today to stand with our current district attorney and our future district attorney, Joe Hynes. Without further adu, I give you our district attorney.
I'm very, very grateful to Councilman Greenfield, and of course to all of the great leadership in Borough Park. We do have a long-standing relationship, my office at Borough Park. We have a long-standing relationship with virtually every community in Brooklyn, because I learned a long time ago when I became district attorney that if we were going to do anything about the horror, some would say shanta here, Brooklyn had become the 5th most violent place in America. For we to do anything about that reality, we had to work with communities. And I asked the people of Brooklyn in the Democratic primary to examine the fact that I have a substantial record as opposed to my opponent's absence of a record. And so without a record, what he's done is distort, lie, and pen, as Councilman Greenfield said. I'm very, very confident that we will win on September 10th. We will win because of communities like Borough Park, and led by great legislators like David Greenfield. I have the support of an enormous number of legislators in the African American community, the Latino community, and I'm very, very proud of the relationship I have with the Russian community. So I'm confident that we will win on primary day, but I am very, very grateful nonetheless to this wonderful, great young legislator, David Greenfield, and all of these great leaders who are here today. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thanks for coming out, guys. There you go. While I'm moving my